Now, first of all, I would like to thank Zainab for letting me tell her story. She was living in a one-room self-contained apartment in Karu, Abuja. Small room, one window, one mattress. Now, one standing fan that made noises, a small gas cylinder beside the kitchen corner, and a curtain used to divide the room from the rest of her life. Now, Zainab was not lazy. She was trying. She sold female clothes online, did small makeup jobs on weekends, and sometimes she helped the vendors deliver orders around town. But Abuja is not a place that cares about effort. Rent was coming, food was expensive, customers were owing, transport was draining her. Some months after paying for light, data, and food, she would sit on the edge of her bed and ask herself, is this really how life is supposed to be? Then she met Malik. It happened at a friend's birthday dinner in Wuse too. Zainab almost did not go. She had no money for a new dress, so she wore one black gown she had worn many times before. Changed the belt, changed the earrings, and prayed nobody would notice. But Malik noticed her that night. Not because she was the loudest, not because she was trying to be seen, but because she was quiet in a room full of people trying too hard. He introduced himself, he smiled politely. They talked for a few minutes, then the few minutes became the whole night. Malik was calm, well spoken, not too flashy, but his confidence told you he was not struggling. He told her he ran a logistics and supply business between Abuja, Kaduna, and Lagos. She told him she sold clothes online. He asked where she lived. She hesitated. Then she said, Karu. He did not laugh. He did not look down on her. He only nodded and said, that is far. You must be strong. Now that answer stayed with her. Most men would have used it to form a sort of superiority. Malik did not. After that night, they started talking. Calls, texts, lunch, evening drives. He took her to restaurants in Maitama, coffee shops in Jabi, and one evening he took her to the Dome in Central area and asked her a question she never forgot. If you could live anywhere in Abuja, where would you choose? Zainab laughed. Don't ask me that kind of question. I'm serious, he said. She thought for a moment and said, Asokoro. Malik smiled. Asokoro? Yes, not too noisy, clean, secure. The kind of place where you wake up and feel like your life has changed. Then he asked, what kind of apartment? She laughed again. Then she responded, 2-bedroom flat. Nothing too much, just a clean place with light, water, security, and a space to breathe. Malik looked at her and said, start looking. Now she thought he was joking. He was not. 2 weeks later, they found a furnished 2-bedroom apartment in Asokoro. The rent was 12 million naira per year. Service charge, agency, legal, and caution deposit pushed everything higher. Malik paid just like that. He paid the rent, paid the service charge, bought new curtains, bought a bigger bed, bought a smart TV, changed her phone, gave her money to restock her clothing business, and for the first time in years, Zainab slept in a room where the fan did not make noise. Her life changed fast. She started taking pictures in the new apartment, morning coffee by the window, mirror selfies in the hallway, soft music in the living room. People started asking, babe, where is this? She would smile and say, God did, but it was Malik who did. For almost 1 year, Malik treated her like a woman he wanted to marry. He visited often, he paid bills, he encouraged her business. He introduced her to some of his friends. And Zainab, who used to count money before ordering food, started ordering without checking prices. Then something changed. It started small. Malik stopped sleeping over as much. He became busy, business trips increased, calls became shorter. He still paid for things, but the warmth started reducing. Zainab, being a woman, did notice. And because she was afraid of going back to the life he lifted her from, fear started entering her behavior. She began checking his phone when he slept. She began questioning every female's name. She began asking why he did not post her online, why he had not introduced her to his mother, why the relationship was not moving to engagement. Malik tried to calm her down. He said, Zainab, I care about you, but don't turn love into pressure. But she could not hear him anymore, because when someone lifts you from suffering, sometimes you start loving them and fearing them at the same time. Then came the day everything broke. Malik was in an apartment in Asokoro. His phone rang. The name on the screen was Auntie Hawa. Zainab looked at it and asked, Who is Hawa? My aunt. Why is she calling you at almost 11 p.m.? Malik stared at her because he was wondering, why is she asking this? Then he responded, because she's my aunt. But Zainab did not believe him. The next morning while Malik was in the shower, she took his phone. This time, he had changed the password. That alone scattered her. By the time he came out, she was already angry. So now you changed the password? Malik sighed. Because you keep checking my phone. If you have nothing to hide, why are you hiding your phone password? He looked at her for a long time and said, Zainab, this is exactly what I'm talking about. The argument became loud. She cried, he shouted. She accused him of using her. He accused her of becoming entitled. Then she said the sentence that killed everything. You think because you paid my rent, you own me? Malik went silent. He picked up his shirt, picked up his keys, then he said, I never owned you, only helped you, but now I can see you don't know the difference. He left. Zainab expected him to come back a few days later, but he did not. 1 week passed, 2 weeks, a month. The money stopped coming. The visits stopped. The calls stopped. But the apartment remained. The soft life remained. At first, she told herself Malik would come back. Then she told herself her business would pick up. Then she told herself she would raise the money. But when the landlord's agent called to remind her that the rent would expire in 6 weeks, reality entered the apartment like bad news. 12 million naira. She did not have it. She did not even have half. She called Malik. He did not pick. She sent a message. No reply. Then she sent a long apology. Still no reply. At that point, she swallowed her pride and went to his office in Maitama. The receptionist told her he was not around. But as she turned to leave, she saw Malik stepping out of the elevator with another woman. The woman was pregnant. Zainab froze. Malik saw her. For a few seconds, nobody spoke. Then the pregnant woman looked at Malik and asked, who is she? Malik said, she is someone I helped. Someone I helped. Not my woman, not my girlfriend, not my future wife. Someone helped. Now that sentence entered Zainab's chest deeper than an insult. She went back to the Asokoro apartment and cried until morning. But the rent still did not care. The agent kept calling. The landlord refused to reduce anything. Friends who used to praise her apartment suddenly became busy when she asked for help. People who used to comment soft life disappeared when she needed hard money. Finally, the rent expired. She packed quietly. The smart TV was sold, the center rug was sold, the dining set was sold, some bags were even sold. The big bed was sold. And on a hot Saturday afternoon, Zainab returned to Karu, back to one room self-contained, back to the noisy fan, back to the small gas cylinder, back to the curtain dividing room from the rest of her life. But this time something was different. She was not the same Zainab who left, because in Asokoro she had learned what luxury felt like. And in Karu, she now had to survive with the memory of it. For weeks, she was broken. She stopped posting, stopped dressing up, stopped answering calls. Then one evening, while unpacking one of her old bags, she found a small envelope. It was from Malik. He had given it to her months earlier, but she never opened it. She thought it was one of those love notes people write when life is sweet. Inside was a letter and a business registration certificate. Malik had registered a clothing company in her name. He had also attached contact details of 2 suppliers in Turkey and 1 in Lagos. At the end of the letter, he wrote, Zainab, I don't want you to depend on me forever. I want you to become someone who can stand even if I am no longer beside you. She sat on the floor and cried. Because all this time, she thought Malik came to rescue her, but maybe he came to teach her how to rescue herself. A man can lift you from poverty, but if you don't build your own legs while you are up there, one heartbreak can return you to where he found you. So let me ask you, was Malik wrong for walking away? Was Zainab wrong for expecting more after everything he did? Or is this what happens when love, money, and survival enters the same relationship? Because sometimes the house is not the blessing. Sometimes the blessing is what you learn before the rent expires. I would love to know your thoughts in the comment section.